Very well, ladies and gentlemen. So we are looking at, of course, improving the club further on. But let's talk about some things that are actually going on in the media. Some people have already opened up about how Arsenal's struggles will continue in the initial games of the season. Just because, of course, I think any Arsenal fan would vouch for this. Arsenal's way of doing business is not that good as you would think, but yeah, plus the squad that they would depend on, I don't think so. And plus a very important number of players contracting the virus, nothing is helping Arsenal at the moment. So Aaron Ramsdale was seen that he actually during the signing of signing the contract with Arsenal, during the photo shoot, he actually carried his granddad's ashes, as I already mentioned in my previous episode. So why? He says, the day my mom found out she was pregnant with me was the day he died. His name was Ron. They used to say, we're going to see our Ron, so I'm Aaron for our Ron. Well, that is, wow, it's a heart touching story. How can you hate this man? No, seriously, how can you hate this guy? Oh my god. My god. Well, now the big question is, why did Arsenal? This question is with everyone. Okay, why did Arsenal even think to sign Aaron Ramsdale? What was it? What was this purpose driven with? Like, what was the facts or what was the statistics? If Arsenal were following statistics, you know that Arsenal were now more data driven. They've got rid of a lot of advisors, a lot of staffs, and now everything is going to be data driven. Plus, we're going to venture into a lot of English markets so that we can get English talents more. So, according to Athletic UK, the recent article suggests that at Sheffield United, Ramsdale tended to play longer passes. Staff have studied his time with Bournemouth and England under 21s and believe he is capable of a short passing game as well. Arsenal admire his bravery on the ball and ability to throw quickly and accurately over distance. Plus, video scouting has played a key part in this decision to sign Ramsdale. Arsenal chose to back the manager and go to the extra mile to get Arteta his preferred choice. Arteta has been personally involved. It is clear that Ramsdale is exactly his choice. Now, this is what I would say. If you are an Arteta hater, you would hear that means Arteta, if Ramsdale fails, Arteta has blood in his hands because this is properly his signing. He got involved in this signing. So if you're not an Arteta fan, Arteta out fan right now, if you still want to give him a chance to see where exactly do we stand after some period of time, probably Christmas or December, wherever we stand, you got to understand that Arteta was actually involved. The report also says that from Athletic UK that Arsenal hierarchy are conscious of the optics of spending more on Ramsdale than they received on Martinez 11 months ago. They know all about the English player tax. However, Arsenal's need for another goalkeeper grew greater than any concerns over price tag. It was the fact that they had to have a goalkeeper sooner or later. Sooner, more important, not later at all. Moving on, so Arteta was asked about how will Odegaard's signing impact on Emil Smith-Rowe's development at Arsenal. Arteta says, we want Emil to be in a better place to develop him. Having alternatives in that position, they are players that can perfectly fit together. They have shown that together last year. We cannot rely on one player. We already lost a lot of creative players. We cannot rely on one player to put everything on his shoulders. Emil has not played 50 games at that level yet in his career. We will need to protect him, and for sure we need other players who can do that. Now this should be a slap on the face to Paul Merson. Why, you'd ask? You say, Aji, what did Paul Merson do? Well, apparently he just opened his mouth, and that was more than enough for me to actually come up with a rebuttal. But more importantly, Mikel Arteta did it for me. So Paul Merson said, what sort of message does signing Odegaard send to Smith Rowe? I can see why he held out signing a new contract. When Odegaard came on loan, he ended up playing out on the wing. But Smith Rowe is a number 10. He can come through the ranks and he makes things happen. He is the one who's going to suffer most from them buying Odegaard. What really is the difference between them anyway? I think they are too similar. But I know who's not getting picked if it starts going wrong, and it won't be the 30 million new signing. I think it's a mistake. I think it's another lazy signing. No other Premier League team was going for him. No one else is trying to sign Aaron Ramsdale either, and he's let in 125 goals in 2 seasons in the Premier League, and that is all Aaron Ramsdale's fault. Very good, Paul Merson. So this is why I tend to discard a lot of BS that is thrown out by Paul Merson, and I keep certain things that really matches my agenda, but more importantly, some things that makes more sense. Arteta on Aubameyang says, I'm getting the sense from him that he's ready to kick on, but he got the virus and has been away for a while. So now we have to work him back physically to his best condition, because that's also something which is very important in his game. I think he's a player who needs the fans. He's very engaged and linked emotionally to them, so that's something that's going to help him. That is that. And Ian Wright opened up about Tammy. He says there was talk he was waiting for Arsenal, but I don't think Arsenal could afford to do the deal. For me, it will be brilliant for him. Mourinho will look after him, and he'll come back to the Premier League as a better player. It will be a great move for him. Kind of cool. But here's what Arteta said about the whole sightings. He says, I've been in constant contact with the hierarchy of the club, with Edu and Richard Garlick, and with our coaching team, trying to find the players we want to recruit and trying to be on the top of every deal to make it happen in conditions we can afford. I think we have created a really strong team who really enjoy working together. Hopefully you will see the fruits of this. Well, we also hope the same. And moving on, Carlo Ancelotti recently opened up about on Odegaard leaving Real Madrid. He says, I spoke to him about the competition for his position. Then he and his family made that decision. He worked very professionally here, and now he is moving to a great club in England. I wish him well. Lovely. Lovely. And Europe's top clubs, including Arsenal and Man City, are banking £150 million from Socios cryptocurrency. This is where the whole Socios things come into picture and gets more money for Arsenal at the moment. So 2 more opinions that we should not give an F about, but still we would consider, because we really don't have much news tonight. So former Tottenham and Manchester United star Dimitar Berbatov has predicted Arsenal will have a terrible start to the Premier League season ahead of the Chelsea's game. The Bulgarians gave out a message. He says about Arsenal's chances of winning a game against Chelsea this season. He says, what a game. I'm going to come out and say that I think Arsenal are going to have a terrible start to the season. And Berbatov also thinks that Thomas Tuchel's team will win 3-0 against Arsenal. He says Lukaku could feature for the first time since rejoining Chelsea, and I think he will be eager to show what he can do. And if Arsenal don't fix their major defensive frailty that they have had for so many years, they are so easily bullied, and Lukaku will run riot. So that's where the things is all about. Dimitar Berbatov believe Lukaku might start for Chelsea, and they are going to win 3-0 against Arsenal in the Emirates. Let's see. First home game for Arsenal this season. How it's gonna fare, how they are going to fare, and of course, there is a lot of fan support that they're going to receive this time around. Well, Tim Sherwood has sent a really brutal message, and he thinks that Arsenal's transfer business, even though they've spent the most in the English Premier League, has not been good enough. Well, since Arsenal have bought 5 players, not as if we care what Tim Sherwood thinks, but here's what he had to say. He says, no, I don't think Arsenal really improved them. The signings really improve Arsenal. You can ask the Arsenal fans out there, and I'm sure they'll tell you the same. They're the biggest spenders so far this summer in the Premier League. Are they optimistic about the future of the club this season? The answer is no. They make these signings, and year after year, who are the best signings? Smith Rowe, Saka, and the academy boys who are coming through. You look at Joe Willock, who they've sold to Newcastle. A goal-scoring midfielder should be still at the football club. Now, this is something similar to what Rio Ferdinand said as well, that Joe Willock leaving Arsenal, I just don't believe. I don't know who's calling the chips and blah blah blah. I think the situation is such that Joe Willock had received a lot of chances at Arsenal. He could not head the ball properly, and I don't know what happened at Newcastle. Every header that he tried was a goal. And it's really good. I mean, this is the best thing. What if Joe Willock would have stayed here, and probably his price tag would not be the one that, the price that we received for him would not, would have plummeted more. So that would have been a different case. So I think if Joe Willock was meant to get out and probably get his own, I'm pretty much sure most of the Arsenal fans believe that Joe Willock at Arsenal, sell him. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know which Arsenal fans is he talking about. But one point is, I agree with him that he says that I don't think the signings will really improve them. They're the biggest spenders so far this season. This question that he asks, he says, are Arsenal optimistic about the future of the club this season? Are we optimistic about our club? Yes. Are we optimistic about the club this season? Until now, no. I say I'm not done. I'm not done. I believe Arsenal are also not done as well with the signings that they've made. They need to still pull off more things, but I hope they do. So that should help a lot. With this, I'd like to end this episode. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.